documentary evidence, identifying several documents previously marked as Exhibits 1 to 269, and their submarkings and offering them for specific purposes. For its part, the prosecution has presented additional evidence on the allegations of Article 2 of the Articles of Impeachment under the verified complaint for impeachment. They have also filed a formal offer of additional documentary evidence, identifying several documents previously marked as Exhibits 10-Os to 10Bs and their submarkings and offering them for specific purposes. Wherefore, in view of the foregoing, acting on the formal offer of documentary evidence of the defense and the formal offer of additional documentary evidence of the prosecution, the court resolves to admit the defense's Exhibits 1 to 269 and their submarkings and the prosecution's Exhibits 10-Os to 11Cs and 11Es to 12Cs and their submarkings, subject to the appreciation of the individual senator judges as to their weight and sufficiency for the purposes for which they have been offered. Further, foregoing documentary exhibits are admitted as part of the testimonies of the witnesses who testified thereon. The defense is deemed to have rested its case. Mr. President.
Your Honor, please, in connection with the supplemental offer, Your Honor, may we request even up to Monday morning to file our objection, Your Honor, because there are so many things here that we have been objecting during.
All right.
Oh, sige.
Granted.
Granted.
Until Monday morning, you can submit your objection.
May we ask 1 minute recess, Your Honor? Just 1 minute.
Yes. Granted.
Okay, nagkaroon po ng panandaliang suspensyon ng paglilitis dahil may objection ang defense dito sa ebidensya na isinumite sa Senate impeachment body. Tanungin natin, klaruhin natin kay Attorney Joey, ano ba ang karaniwang nangyayari na sa formal offer of evidence nagsumite ang depensa? Tinanong sila kung meron ba silang objections, tila nalito no, si Attorney Cuevas at nagsabi na si Majority Floor Leader Senator Tito Soto na ina-accept na nila itong ebidensya ng both prosecution and defense, and then may objection pala si Attorney Cuevas. Sa ganitong pagkakataon, dapat pa bang pagbigyan itong objection gayong nagsabi na ang Majority Floor Leader na tinatanggap na niya?
Kasi sa regular court proceedings, ang nangyayari kapag ang isang partido ay nag-submite ng kanyang formal offer of evidence, normally, merong pagkakataon yung kabilang partido para mag-comment. Usually, yung kanyang comment, sasabihin niya, Your Honor, if you will recall, merong kaming objection dito sa admissibility of this evidence being offered by the other
Mr.
party.
President, before the suspension, the presiding officer granted the request of the defense, but may we appeal the ruling that and ask the defense to withdraw the objection so that we will no longer prolong the problem and the agony.
What is the pleasure of the prosecution?
The defense, Mr. President.
The
Defense.
Your Honor, please, with that admonition, I am sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
With that admonition, Your Honor, we'll just go on record as not objecting to the offer, Your Honor.
All right.
Both sides, Mr. President.
The motion of the majority floor leaders granted. So you have withdrawn your objection to the supplemental offer of evidence by the prosecution. So
Thank you, Your Honor.
all right. So therefore, to clarify, this case is now submitted for final resolution by this impeachment court, subject to the oral argument of the two sides to be held next Monday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Is that understood?
Agreed, Your Honor, and agreed. And
Yes, that's clear, Your Honor.
You have an equal time of 1 hour each side.
And we will, per your instruction, Your Honor, it's up for us to divide or
Correct.
make
Yes,
arrangements.
yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Majority Floor Leader,
Yes, Mr. President, may we ask the Sergeant at Arms to make an announcement?
the Sergeant at Arms is directed to make the announcement.
Please all rise. All persons are commanded to remain in their places until the Senate President and the Senators have left the session hall.
Mr. President, there being no other business for the day, I move that we adjourn until 2 o'clock in the afternoon of Monday, May 28, 2012.
Granted.
Adjourn na po ang paglilitis sa araw na ito, Day 42 at huling araw ng pagpipresenta ng ebidensya ng depensa. At naggawa kasi ito sa pagtanggap ng Senate Impeachment Court ng mga ebidensya mula sa defense and prosecution. Una ay meron sanang mga objections itong both defense and prosecution. Ngunit tila nagkasundo sila na i-withdraw na lang ito at isumiti na ito sa Senado.
Ukol dito, Kathy, binigyan sila sa Lunes ng tig-isang oras for oral arguments ukol sa mga ebidensya na kung dapat tanggapin o hindi tanggapin ng Senate Impeachment Court. At siguro ito na yung huling segment ng mga pangyayari. Maganda siguro na tignan natin, nakakatapos lang ngayon ng press conference ni Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales ukol sa mga pahayag na sinabi ni CJ Corona dito ngayon sa impeachment court ukol sa kanya,
Tila naging maaanghang ang mga sagot ni Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales sa mga naging pagpahayag ng Chief Justice before the Senate Impeachment Court.
Kasi parang ang naging linya niya kanina ay nung tinanong siya, what if Corona gets convicted? Ang sabi ni Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales, Amen. I suffered in silence, my retirement was reduced in half, and I never asked for any reconsideration. Bahala siya. This was siguro in reference to an issue na tinaas humihingi na mataas na retirement si Conchita Carpio Morales na dinisapprove naman ni Chief Justice Renato Corona.
At sinasabi niya na she never, ito in her exact words, I was not salivating to become Chief Justice, excuse me. So, ito yung mga sagot niya sa naging mga pahayag ng Chief Justice sa tanong ni Senadora Jinggoy Estrada na kung bakit hindi siya bumoto in favor of Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales before the JDC.
Siguro parang ang mga naging maanghang din na statements ni Ombudsman Morales, I hope that you have a conscience as clear as mine. And she was referring to Chief Justice Renato Corona. At tinapos niya yung kanyang press con saying that let the people judge who's telling the truth. Ayon kay Conchita Carpio Morales, sabi niya, I didn't pick it from the gutters. It was handed to me by the AMLAC head. At she was referring to, if I'm not mistaken, BSP Governor Amando Tetangco.
Okay, kasama pa rin natin mga kaibigan na si Carl sa Tinitigan at Attorney Joey Bernabe. Carl, natapos na nga ang testimonya ni Chief Justice Renato Corona. Overall, anong reaction mo sa lahat ng nasabi niya before the impeachment court?
Reaction ko po, nakakabahala na ganun po yung stance ng ating Chief Justice ngayon. Sana po tumaas yung standard natin for our Chief Justice kasi po sa tingin ko po hindi ako magtitiwala sa mga lalabas sa Supreme Court kung alam ko pong ganun po kasi si Chief Justice yung nakalagay doon.
Attorney Joey, your analysis of today and the closing remarks, what can you say is what would probably happen on Monday?
Well, sa Monday, ang mangyayari lamang ay yung closing arguments ng both prosecution at ng defense. Ang aking palagay dito ay parehong mag-aapila sila to the both logic, reason, the evidentiary value na tinatawag ng kanilang mga hinain, at pati na rin dun sa sympathy at public perception na magiging importante rin sa paghusga ng ating mga senator judges. Dahil kahit na sinasabi natin na kailangan magdesisyon sila on the basis of the evidence, hindi natin maikakaila na marami sa kanila ay pakikinggan kung anong binubulong ng taong bayan. At pangalawa na rin, ayon dun sa guidelines pa rin na palagay ko ay mananaig pa rin, yung guidelines na hinain ni Senator Ponce Enrile na sinasabi niyang it has to be on the basis of clear and convincing evidence or sufficient and convincing evidence. Parang sapat at talagang nakakapaniwalang ebidensya kung bakit dapat matanggal o dapat na manatili sa posisyon si Chief Justice Corona.
So balikan ko lang yung tanong, sorry, Akathia, yung follow-up ko lang doon sa kaninang katanungan na what if they convict or acquit the Chief Justice on the basis that it was a point of law? Meaning to say na, di ba, ang sabi Chief Justice, para sa akin, dapat hindi ko to dineclare, hindi naman sinabi ng batas. At yun ang naging major point. At inapela ito ng either ng defense or ng prosecution sa Supreme Court. At the Supreme Court ruled otherwise. Anong mangyayari dito?
Sa aking palagay, hindi papayag ang Senado na ang kanilang desisyon ay ma-overrule. Bumabalik tayo doon sa prinsipyo na paulit-ulit na kanilang binibigkas lalo na ng simula, na ang Senate, sitting as an impeachment body, ang may sole power to decide on an impeachment case. At ito ang sinasabi na constitutional mandate nila. Ngayon, itong Supreme Court, palagay ko naman ay hindi rin papayag na sila ay mag-exert ng judicial authority over the Senate. Kasi kung makikita natin, mula Enero, meron namang nakahain na sa kanila na ganitong klaseng motion or petition para mag-inhibit ang Senate na pakinggan itong paglilitis na to. Pero so far, to the credit of our Supreme Court, hindi nila binibigyan ng daan o hindi sila naghuhusga para pahintuin ang pag-exercise ng ating Senado ng kanilang powers under the Constitution.
Meron yatang napakomment sa sinabi mo dito online, Attorney Joey, sabi niya, with the way that the Chief Justice testified, we don't know where the Supreme Court will go with this.
At meron din tayong tanong mula kay Peaches Reyes. Ito ay pinadaan niya sa ating PTVPH Twitter account. I-address ko sa inyo ito, Attorney Joey. Does this mean that all politicians declare their US dollar accounts in their SALN? Well, we won't know for sure, but do they have to declare their dollar accounts in their SALNs?
Yes. Sa aking pananaw, yun ang aking interpretasyon ng batas. And I think maraming abogado ang sumasang-ayon sa ganitong klaseng interpretasyon na dapat ang iyong lahat ng iyong ari-arian, kesyo dollar siya, euro, yen, peso, kailangan mong ideklara sa iyong SALN. Otherwise, mawawalan ng silbi itong ating batas na gustong ihain ng transparency and accountability ng ating public officials na bilang isang importanteng elemento ng kanilang pagkaupo sa public office.
Now that, go ahead, G.
Carl, so nasabi din yung punto na parang the Chief Justice, as he is talking, he always addresses the public. And parang lumalabas talaga yung impact ng public opinion at yung mga sinasabi ng mga tao sa public opinion. Anong masasabi mo dito, given that we're in the tail end of the trial?
Ang sa akin lang po, si Chief Justice na po mismo nagsabi, transparency siya din mismo, gusto niya transparency. Hindi ko po naiintindihan kung paano po nagiging transparent yung pwede mong itago yung US dollar accounts under this supposed confidentiality of another separate law who he declared has been there after he has been starting investing in dollar accounts. I don't think po that's enough. If we really want transparency po, pwede namang itago sa peso accounts or whatever para totoo pong net worth yung nakalagay. Sana po hindi ma-dissuade o ma-persuade yung public into the dramatics na nangyari dito sa ginawa ni Chief Justice. I admit he's more convincing today than on Tuesday. He's more cooperative, mas mabait siya today. Pero sana po pakinggan din natin mismo yung mga sinabi niya. Marami po siya sinabi today na hindi ka panipaniwala.
Alright, maraming salamat sa iyo, Professor Carl sa tinitigan. Samantala, Attorney Joey, isang katanungan din. Itong nangyayari, sui generis ka, itong paglilitis, and now that we're on the home stretch, malapit na pong mag-render ng kanilang judgment ang mga senator judges, pinresinta na po itong mga ebidensya. Pero meron ding mga senator judges na nagsasabi na nagkakaroon din sila ng konsultasyon at pinapakinggan din nila ang taong bayan na siya namang nila talagang sila ang nagsisilbing boses nito. In the end po, sa tingin niyo po ba, saan dapat magbase ang mga senator judges sa kanilang paggagawa ng desisyon? Sa ebidensya o sa tawag ng taong bayan?
From a legal perspective,
Yes.
bilang isang abogado, syempre ang sasabihin ko ay dapat ibase nilang desisyon nila doon sa ebidensyang naihain sa kanila dito sa paglilitis ng mula Enero hanggang ngayon.
Okay. Maraming salamat po, Attorney Joey Bernabe.
Kasama natin ngayon ang isa sa mga senator judges. Maraming salamat po sa pagbigay ng oras sa Senator Judge Coco Pimentel. Magandang hapon po sa iyo.
Magandang hapon, Gio, Cathy, at sa lahat po nang nanonood. Marami tayong oras kasi maaga nag-join.
Oo nga po. Attorney Coco, ilang beses pong sinasabi ni Chief Justice Corona sa pagtatanong na yung interpretasyon niya tungkol dito sa Foreign Currency Deposit Act at yung SALN law at dun sa absolute confidentiality, kayo po, abogado rin po. Ano po bang interpretasyon niyo dito?
Well, una sa lahat, yung absolute confidentiality, dahil lang yan sa batas. So that's only statutory protection for dollar accounts. Samantalang obligasyon to disclose your assets, your liabilities, and then to compute your net worth is a constitutionally mandated obligation. Nasa Article 11, Section 17 yan. And then may batas pa to operationalize or to give flesh to that constitutional provision. And then, 1974, yung foreign currency na law, yung Constitution 1987, yung batas 1989. So saan ang latest expression of legislative will? Doon sa disclosure. And then sino mas mataas sa hierarchy of laws? Ang Constitution o batas? Constitution. So disagree ako in effect sa kanyang interpretation.
Pero dito po sa batas patungkol sa SALN, meron din pong provision dito patungkol sa good faith. And the Chief Justice himself mentioned this a while ago. This is my interpretation of the law and I did this in good faith. So, does this excuse the Chief Justice, you think, in the eyes of the law?
Well, if we allow good faith to mean that or to cover such a scenario, then the law will be a dead letter law. Kasi all omissions, medyo by mistake or intentional, pwede mo nang ilusot na ganun kasi interpretation ko eh. Kahit hindi yun in reality talagang tinago mo, nahuli, yun ang nilalabas mo ngayong depensa. Sorry in good faith I wrongly interpreted the law. So delikado po tanggapin na ganun na reasoning kasi the law will have no effect, will have no teeth anymore.
Senator, nagkaroon po ngayong araw ng iba't ibang notions ng transparency and accountability. At siguro ito rin yung tema na lumalabas sa trial. Sa inyong pananaw po, what does it mean to be a transparent and accountable person in public service?
Well, number one, you comply with all of these laws meant to enhance transparency. So, yung mga disclosure, declaration, not necessarily mag-waiver ka unless required by law. So, mag-comply ka lang sa batas. At yun na nga, pag sinabi na batas, tell us your assets, alam mo naman na dollar accounts are assets even in the Philippines because they're easily convertible into peso amounts. So, ganun eh.
Senator Pimentel, I hope you don't mind. Tanong ko lang po, meron po ba kayong dollar account at dinedeklara niyo po ba ito sa
Dineclare
SALN?
ko siya in pesos sa SALN ko.
At yun nga po yung sa mga...
So in my mind, kinonvert ko siya, inadd ko siya sa balance ko, sa account kasi ang cash kong declared is cash on hand and cash in banks.
Okay. So, kino-convert nyo po.
Correct.
I'm sure you've been having dialogues with other lawmakers and public officials as well. Is this their same practice also?
Yes, ang sabi ng iba. At actually, kaya nga sa akin, importante yung amount. At mabuti, ito yung maganda sa hearing ngayon, dinisclose ni Chief Justice yung amount ng kanyang dollar deposits tsaka yung kanyang peso deposits. Importante sa akin yung amount sa dollars. Kasi, what if sasabihin niya, meron lang akong $10,000. So, convert natin yung 400,000 pesos yon. Ang kanyang dineclare, 3.5 million pesos. In effect, pwede niya sabihin, dineclare ko rin yung dollars ko kasi pasok siya sa 3.5 million pesos. But not $2.4 million. Imposible mo masabing pasok yun sa 3.5 million pesos. That's why he's not making that argument.
Senator Coco, Pag umabot po sa punto na mag-apila ulit ang depensa o ang prosekusyon sa Supreme Court, ano sa tingin nyo ang magiging aksyon ng Senate Impeachment Court?
Yeah, since hindi kami involved sa appeal, no? Wala kaming involvement, pero any action ng Supreme Court which amounts to interference with our constitutional power, exclusive power to try and decide the impeachment case, hindi po namin i-honor. This early, sasabihin ko na hindi po namin i-honor kahit saan korte po manggaling yan. Because pagdating sa impeachment, the Senate, sitting as the impeachment court, is actually the Supreme Court.
Meron pong nangangamba na kung sakali pong hindi maging pabor sa depensa itong magiging desisyon dito sa